Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' the Country, and I'm smiling. Sometimes life is just fun, unexpectedly, and maybe that adds to the fun of it, but life is hard. You hear me say that on the channel, but every so often there are moments that are just beautiful. And this is one of them, because I'm doing a reaction to Brenda Lynn Allen's song, I'm Not Out of My Mind. And I don't know the song, but Brenda and I have gotten to know each other over the past month or so, maybe month and a half by the time you see this. And she's just south of Nashville, so I'm wearing this. And she's actually south of Franklin, but that's the same thing. But Franklin's a little closer to where she's at. But I just wanted, this one quote came to mind about the moments of joy that we experience in life set against the backdrop of really the very difficult enterprise that living on planet Earth comprises. So it's a quote of George Santayana, and I love this quote. And it says, "The world is not respectable. It is mortal, tormented, confused, deluded forever. But it is shot through with beauty, with love, with glints of courage and laughter. And in these, the spirit blooms timidly and struggles to the light amid the thorns." And George Santayana was like a Spanish philosopher, but he was a philosopher. But I love a lot of his quotes. But these moments of joy that, especially that are so unexpected, make life so wonderful. And Brenda Lynn has just been a delightful addition to my life. We've never met face to face, but I did a radio interview on her show, and her professionalism is extraordinary. It's so extraordinary that you don't even necessarily feel like you're talking to a professional. You feel like you're talking to a friend, and that is a rare talent. But I did a reaction to one of her songs when I had never heard of her, and this is how it all began. Anyway, I decided that I was going to do a reaction to another one of her songs because she just has a very unique voice. She has a very powerful voice and just a very different type of artist. But I just decided I wanted to do this. Nobody requested it, and Brenda Lynn won't know about it until I post it. So this is kind of the fun for me too. It's sort of like a sneak attack. Okay, here we go. I'm Not Out of My Mind by Brenda Lynn Allen, and it's her official video. Yeah, and I don't know the song.
I hear your voice at night and I wake up to find myself alone and crying. Every car I hear pull up sounds like that big red pickup truck that you still drive. Every bike I see out on the road reminds me of the times you took me riding. Everything I do still includes you, even though it's been months since I crossed your mind.
Oh, that's
you
rough.
used to send me flowers. Every day the sun would shine. We'd sit and talk for hours. Said I was always on your mind.
Oh, hold on. That's a lyric. That is a lyric. I wonder about the genesis of songs. You hear me talking about this. I love to understand, how did something originate? Not just a song, anything, any entrepreneurial endeavor. Because with songs, there was nothing on the page. And then there was something on the page. But it had to originate in the mind of the songwriter. And sometimes it's a melody that comes first, but for lyricists, the words come first. And it's like, okay, what was the germ of the idea that got fleshed out around it? And sometimes you just realize a turn of a phrase as a wordsmith that you want to work with. If poets will do this, but lyricists in songs absolutely do this. And that right there, I'm not out of my mind, but I must be out of yours. So that's a pronoun thing. My mind, but I'm out of your mind. And that little realization of how to twist the phrase, I think the rest of the song was built around it. Yeah, Brenda Lynn, maybe you'll let me know if you wrote it. Okay. That was a kick in the teeth, too. Goodness, I could feel that one because my life had a similar situation. Let's call it that. And it sucks.
The nights we used to spend together are only memories to me. Flowers never see the sunshine brightly as it used to be. The voice that used to keep me going just seems to haunt me anymore. I'm not out of my mind, but I must be out of yours. I'm not out of my mind, but I must be out of yours. No, I'm not out of my mind, but I must be out of yours.
Nice. I don't know when you shot that, but your feet look cold there. What I would have loved to have seen, it just dawned on me as we got sort of toward the end, is if you just saw him pulling up in his pickup or something, and then she turned and smiled, and then it's like, oh, resurrection, because we all have these. Would have been more of a song about fear than it would have been about an actual love lost, where maybe something had gone wrong, but now it's going to have the happy Hollywood ending. But that obviously wasn't what the song was about. It was just about love lost. And you wonder, you don't know if the other person regrets leaving the relationship. You don't know if they still think about you. And they do. That's just the way the human mind works, where you do think about the other person. You may not dwell on them if you're not in love with them any longer or whatever, and you've got someone else now. The new memories are being created with the new person, and the old ones fade, but they don't completely disappear. But it's kind of, what's the expression? Like, it's okay to entertain thoughts, just don't let thoughts entertain you. And that is sort of symbolic or emblematic of how the mind works in this, that once you get occupied with something else, these other things dissipate. And in this song, she didn't say he moved on to another woman, nothing like that. But and she didn't say I am out of yours. And that was a smart move because you don't know that. But I must be out of yours. That was an accurate representation of what you'd be thinking or feeling. And Brenda Lynn's voice, too, her voice is just beautiful, the way she carries that note and breathes out. There are a lot of technically proficient vocalists out there. And it's like there are technically proficient ballerinas. But the thing that separates in dance, for example, is that certain dancers just have something that draw your attention to them. Let's say they're in the core. Let's say there are 12 or 16 dancers in the core of a company, and they're on stage, but your mind seems to go to one. Your eye seems to go to one of them because they just seem to have it. And it isn't that they're necessarily technically more proficient than the other dancers, but they just have something, a certain je ne sais quoi, as the French say. And in here, Brenda Lynn has that with her voice. There's something about when she lets her voice expand and go with it. There's like a raspiness, there's a sincerity, there's a power, there's a vulnerability in it as well, without the sort of Miranda-like vibrato that moves me every time. But there's something there that is extraordinarily feminine and extremely strong, yet vulnerable. It's just a unique combination that I don't know I've ever heard before. I'm just going to leave that be, folks. You can leave your comments for Brenda Lynn. I just wanted to do that because it's fun. Like Santayana said, it is shot through with beauty, with glints of laughter and hope and things like this. And it just makes life fun. So there you go, folks. Leave your comments for Brenda Lynn and we'll go from there. And also, I'm going to put the link to Brenda Lynn's radio program. She's got a radio show that she does, an internet-based radio show that's got a very nice following. I did an interview with her recently. It was fantastic. It was an easy conversation. She made it that way. I'm going to put the link to her radio show down below, as well as her YouTube channel too. I'll put both of those down below. Just you could go check it out if you want to, but she plays by and large traditional country music, and she does it with 3 other folks, and they have their own time slots that they do their interviews with different artists and people. I got on there and which was very sweet and humbling, but I'm going to put that below. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.